Hi everyone, Sabia here. Happy New Year. This is our first Communi-Tea Thursday of the year, and we're going to be joined in a few minutes by the lovely Thelma Rose, all the way from Johannesburg, South Africa. So while we're waiting, if this is your first time joining us, Communi-Tea Thursday is Asmara Bellydance Initiative's way of connecting the community by featuring different BIPOC dancers. Oh, Thelma's here. So we do this every week on Thursdays. Sometimes it's live, sometimes it's recorded, but you can catch it on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of the things. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Thelma on with us now. Give me a moment. Let's see. So excited. Hey,
Hi, how are you?
good. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. It's like early in the morning in Johannesburg.
I know. I really appreciate, and all of us with Asmar appreciate you getting up super early for us because I know it's like before. Is the sun even up over there?
It should be, but I think it's quite cloudy outside, so it's all looking
Okay.
gray right now. Yeah.
Well, I did kind of do a quick introduction, but I want to give you a longer, grander one. So we have
Okay.
Thelma Rose here. She is a lovely, wonderful human being, an incredibly talented dancer who not only performs, but she does dance productions, she teaches, she has a troupe. So we're going to get into all that. And I see some people are joining. Thanks for tuning in. So, my first question for you is going to be about what style of belly dance you do, or styles if you do more than one.
That's a bit of a tricky question because you might think you're doing a certain style and the gurus will tell you that's not it.
That does
You
happen.
know, it does. And obviously, so basically I do Egyptian style dancing. But obviously, there's parts of um, my own personal African dancing that I add in like once in a while or personal expression. But primarily, it's mostly Egyptian dancing. Um, I'm not really good at the other styles, I'm not gonna lie. That's just the one that I like. I appreciate all of them, but I love the Egyptian style dancing because it's very powerful and subtle at the same time. Like there's a it creates to me the most one of the most beautiful and pure expressions when you're dancing. So that's the style that I like.
I also love Egyptian, so I'm super biased, but I can definitely relate to your feelings about it. Just, it's very earthy and it's
Yeah,
very, I don't know, it feels like home, but it
it
also has a
does.
lot of subtleties to it. You're right, it's very layered.
Mm.
So, yes, I can agree with you there. And I know you were talking about like emoting and expression in a way with Egyptian style, which is something that you personally, I feel, and I've heard from other people, you're beautiful as a
Oh,
dancer and
thank
you
you.
emote beautifully. And I know that for all of us, that's not necessarily the case. Like some of us struggle with the facial and the emotional components of belly dance because it's one thing to dance through your body, but to dance emotionally is a different layer. So I wanted to ask you, for people who are struggling with that, what advice would you give them to master emoting when you dance?
It's I think it's all about acting. Unfortunately, if you have a negative quality about yourself, which is lying, you could also use that. So not all of us are naturally born actors. But I'm very good at faking an expression or faking an emotion in that sense. Because if you think about it, if you're going through a very rough time in your life and you have a show to perform, to do, but in this show or whatever it is that you're doing, you've chosen or you have to be like in a good, happy place. So technically, you are lying as you perform because you are showing an emotion that you're currently not feeling in that sense, or you're acting it out. So I would say, if you know how to sort of, it's all about faking the emotion. So the one advice that I'll give is think of a time that you felt a certain way. So if you're dancing to heartbreak, think of the time you got heartbroken, like really get into like that space and that feeling, and then now you can dance that emotion because you're feeling it. So the same thing is if you're sad and you need to dance happy, think about that one time that you were happy and just tap into that and then use that to dance. Or if you really want to be technical about it, just take up acting classes. That's also a good way to help because they teach you how to sort of pretend that you're feeling a certain thing, yet you're not. So that's one thing that I would say. Like I always, it takes a lot, and I always tell dancers, at least the dancers that I train, um, before you get on stage, if you need that 5 minutes to tell everyone to please bite out of your face, because you need to get your mind into the right mode to say, I need to dance, then that is what you do. No one has the right to take this personally. That is your own personal time, your own personal space. You only have 3 minutes of fame, by the way. So you have to you have to use it to the best that you can. Because the other thing that I found is when you, or at least it happens to me, like I get on stage if I'm not prepared, and then like halfway or towards the end of the song, that's when the adrenaline and the right emotions and the stage thing kicks in, and like the song's finished. Like I don't have the second piece. This is just the one song, and I literally wake up on stage a minute into it. So that doesn't help. Like rather just get yourself in the zone before you get on stage. So by the time you get on, you're just running with it. So that's why I say you need that 5-10 minutes before you perform to tell everyone to please butt out if that's what you need. We're not all the same. So I need that time to say, please just butt out of my face. I'll be friendly to you after. And just get me into that zone to be on stage with the right emotion, with the right attitude, with adrenaline already up, not gonna kick in when I'm already on stage. So yeah, that's what I would say.
That's really good advice. I think that even for those of us who like are able to express ourselves or, act through our dance, if you aren't in the right headspace or you're just warming up still while you're dancing, you do get to like halfway through and you're like, well, now I'm here. Like now I've arrived and I have 1 minute left.
Exactly.
Which isn't what we want. So that's really great advice. Thank you. Hopefully that's helpful to everyone else.
I hope so.
So just going into like more, because human energy is so impactful. Like we're social creatures and we need to know when to protect ourselves or when we need to like set our boundaries. And something that you faced recently was having to set some boundaries and reshape some feedback you were given. I know that we all get the ugly social media trolls. You posted this amazing kick-ass drum solo. And of course, there are going to be people who police bodies who come on. So when facing things like that, which is off stage, but still related to dance, what advice would you give dancers who are battling things like body shaming or, people saying that they're not the right skin color, their hair's not right? How should we face that?
The first thing that I always say is remember why you started dancing. That's the one thing that people must always remember. It wasn't a group project to say, hey, Sabia, you need to get up and start belly dancing. It was your own personal thing. It wasn't a collective, like people made like they came together and they decided, oh yeah, Thelma has to start dancing. No, this is something that I did on my own. So I decided that I want to be a dancer. And so I feel people always need to remember why. The first thing is always remember why you started dancing. Yes, things may not always go as you predicted when you started off, and that's okay. Like nothing in life anyway goes the way we planned it. But it's more of think of why you're doing it. That's the second thing. Why are you dancing? Are you dancing to please other people? Are you dancing for yourself? Are you just enjoying the music? Or is there at least one person that you know that actually likes to see you dancing? And it's a lot to deal with trolls. Like, it's a lot. You have to have, I feel you really need to have thick skin for it. It goes back to self-confidence, like how you think of yourself and what you say to yourself. Because at the end of the day, the way that I see it is every time someone says negative, says something negative, to me, that's their way of saying they don't wish that for themselves. Or if they feel like they are approaching that part, like say for instance, someone says, "Oh, you've got a big head." Someone said that to them once in their life, or they at least thought about that about themselves. So they are projecting that negative thing they feel about themselves onto the next person. And that's not okay. It's not a hot potato situation. We can just hand it over to the next person. You stay with your negative way of how you think and how you want to see things. If you want to see dancers of a certain skin color, of a certain weight, they're everywhere. You know, it's like we've got, like in the whole world, you've got the entire range. So you can choose to watch
You're
what
right.
you want.
You're right.
So if I see a dancer that I don't like watching, I'll just tune out and go for the ones that I like watching. It's not necessary to then chime in and say, "Oh, but I don't like this." It's a world with tons of options. It's not like you're faced with just the one. I'm not the only dancer that people ever see, and that person is not the only dancer they'll ever see. If someone feels like they're in that situation where troll just keeps going, tell them no. How about you go and watch dancer XYZ? Because they seem to fit the style that you like. It's not personal. That person is not saying something personal about you. It feels like it because they're commenting on your body and it's your looks or it's your hair or it's your skin color. It feels personal, but it's not. This is just how they feel about themselves and they're projecting it onto you. So if we understand that about people, then it's okay. It's like, no, it's not my problem. That's your problem. At least that's how I see it. So that's why I don't really get that offended. My problem is if I keep quiet, then someone else who's watching me sees this trolls going on and I don't say anything back. They think it's okay and they think, oh, this is what I'll also have to deal with. No, you don't have to deal with it. That's why I have to speak up. Like, you don't have to deal with this problem. You don't have to tolerate people talking to you this way. And you can also reply to them politely without getting all feisty and yada, yada, yada.
I don't know
But
how to do
it's,
that.
you can just tell them, nah, if you're not interested in watching black girls dancing, please, there's many options in the world. Like, YouTube is
Right.
out there, and there's so many dances that you could watch that are pleasing to you. So I always feel if someone says something that terrible about you, do not take it personally because it's not about you. It's about them and how they feel about themselves. So at least that's how I deal with it.
No, that's great advice. I think that we get told these things like as lessons as children, and then we become adults and we forget that we need to just apply them, like apply them in all parts of our life. And when it comes to dance, I think because we're artists and we're performing, we get very hypercritical of ourselves and we get very
Yes.
concerned with other people's opinions. And they are important to an extent, but also, like you said, there's a whole world, there's like a menu of dancers. If I'm not your kind of dancer, move on. But I don't have
Yeah.
to carry that with me. I can still be myself and continue what I'm doing and not be for you. So that's, yeah, that's true.
Because
So
I also say,
mm-hmm. Go ahead.
sorry, I also say I don't I know that I don't please everyone. In the same way I carry the torch of not everyone pleases me. It's just natural. You know, you're
Right.
not gonna like everyone because not everyone's going to like you as well. It's a quite balanced way that like our lives is very balanced. Not everyone's gonna like you the same way you don't like everyone. And that's okay. You know, like, I do get dancers, oh no, she was like comments like, oh, she was terrible. And I also see, I'm not gonna say who, like famous dancers, and I'm like, oh no, I didn't like that. But I don't have to say it because I
Right.
know it's not for everyone the same way I'm not for everyone.
And that's okay. I mean, if we didn't have haters, we wouldn't have lovers too. That's kind of how I look at it. Like it's everybody's
Exactly.
going to have preferences. And maybe I'm wrong, but personally, like if you have haters, you've clearly made it. Like if there are people out there willing to drag you on social media, you're doing something noticeable and something that's pulling people in. So
Exactly.
and thank you for everyone who's tuning in. I see so many people popping up. Well, I wanted to ask you because you are in Johannesburg, and I wanted to give you the opportunity to just tell us what is the experience like being a Black belly dancer there?
I'm sure you can see
Oh
from my
no, were you
facial
shaking your
expression.
head? That's not a good start.
So it depends which aspect you're referring to, because there's two aspects to being a dancer. There's the festival community sister side, and then there's the professional entertainment side of it. So I'll start with the community side of it, with the festivals and the sisterhood and like connecting with other dancers. So I think, I'm not sure, but I think I had a swift break into the community and the festivals and everything. I did have quite a few allies that at the time, I didn't know about. I was just dancing. I swear,
Mm-hmm.
like when I started off, I was just dancing. Like, okay, there's a dance here. Oh yeah, let's go dance. So I just started off as I'm just dancing. And then so when I started dancing professionally, so entering the entertainment world, that's when I got to meet other dancers, and that's how I could say, broke into the community. And I had my first big show, and this was in 2011. Samantha Emmanuel was in South Africa, and I was asked to perform. And obviously, I did a drum solo. And going back to the previous point, I was very unhappy that day. Let's just say I cried my eyelashes off. So just before getting on stage, but I still, I know, but
It's
I still
okay.
had
I've
to
been
walk
there.
into that.
Look, I boohooed on the
Exactly.
sideline, then got on stage.
Exactly. So I walked onto the stage and I just decided, this is my, again, 3 minutes of fame. I have to dance. So I got on, danced, walked out. And I had the most amazing response from the belly dance community. From then on, I was invited to more and more festivals, and I made the cover of a magazine. There was a whole lot of
Wow.
negative. Yeah, I know. As a rising star, this is still in 2011, and there was one particular person who had a problem with me, and the comment was, oh, why is she doing belly dancing? Like she can do her own Zulu or African style dancing. Like belly dancing is for Westerners only. And
Oh, that's interesting.
I know. And while all this is happening, I'm in the lab, like all switched up because I'm also an engineer. So I'm still studying then. So I'm all switched up in the lab. I missed this whole thing. And I later get a message from the festival organizer who was also owning the magazine at the time to tell me, please ignore the negative comments that you're receiving on social media. We're all standing up for you. We're all fighting against this troll. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, no, I deleted the post. I'm like, no, why did you delete it? Like, I feel I need to see how other people feel. Then you get to me, it's like you get a full spectrum of what you're going to get. Like you get the good and the bad and everything in between. So I needed to see that conversation. So anyway, the belly dance community came out in full force and defending me. I wasn't even in the picture. I hadn't said anything yet because I missed the whole thing. They came out in full force and defended me. And over time as well, like when negative things come up, they still like jump in and, oh no, you cannot do this. That was amazing. And it's something that I would say I really appreciate. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's been a pleasure being part of the South African belly dance community. It still is, like it's still going on. So it's actually quite amazing to be part of it. Unfortunately, yes, I have seen racism within the community. So like negative comments said by, well, friends, all the way, because I've heard, oh, you can't dance because your bum is too big. I'm like, it makes it easier. I don't know what you're talking about. So I don't think it's bad.
I'm like,
or
you real focused on my behind right now.
exactly. And someone said, "Oh, you can't dance because your thighs, something about my thighs or something." And I said, "But my ability to do movements is based on my muscles, not the size of my thighs or the size of my bum. It has nothing to do with that. It makes, for me, all that just makes it a little bit easier to get that big poof movement
You
with
get the
the extra."
rebirth.
Exactly. With, I call it the aftershock. So to
I
get
like
that,
that.
so I get that aftershock quite easily compared to, I don't know, say a smaller dancer. So hi, Chadney.
Hi, Jenny.
So it's interesting to me that I hear this from people who are close to me, like who are saying these things. And your mind, okay, I've got a very active imagination, so I tend to wonder, what on earth do other people say, like behind my back and everything? So I don't get anxious about it. It's just curiosity, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people are just nice to your face, but well, there's something else elsewhere. So that's the festival side. I've had so much fun. I've toured South Africa basically. Like I've taken road trips, flown everywhere, done workshops and festivals, and always get invited. And it's always the most welcoming. They're very extremely welcoming. The belly dance community in South Africa is very, very open and welcoming. So it's something that I appreciate. On the entertainment side, no, I do not perform anymore, even though I've got like 30 something costumes in my closet. That's just an addiction, because every single time I'm supposed to get a show, I get, "Oh, do you have someone who looks a little bit more blonde, blue-eyed, skinny, Egyptian, or?" And I'm like, you know what?
Right.
I'm like so over this. Like, I'm not gonna subject myself to dance for a person like that. Just, it's really not necessary for me to do that. I can dance in my house and post a video on YouTube. That's fine with me, because I don't, that's something I don't have to deal with. I don't have to be in that space. Why? I don't have to force myself in. I've tried for years and it hasn't destroyed my spirit. I'm thankful for that. So I think also it doesn't really help that it feels like some of the performers also sort of encourage this attitude of, "Oh, we don't want a black dancer." And yeah, I understand you need to pay bills and stuff. So that's why I don't really take it personally. But
Mm.
I feel bad for the next black dancer who needs to come up, because they will not get that opportunity, unfortunately. It's quite sad. I live in a, I don't know, majority black country, and there's like 3 black professional dancers. It's And every time I used to perform like in restaurants and stuff, the waiters, especially the waiters, always came up to me and said, "Oh my gosh, the ladies at least." So it's always like those 2 types of people. I get the male waiters come up to me and go, "Wow, you're so amazing." And they're usually my biggest audience, not actually the people that I'm dancing. And then I get the female waiters, the black ones. They come to me and they say, "Oh, we didn't know black women can do this too." I'm like, "Why wouldn't you think that? We dance. Like, it's known that
There's
black."
no like secret rule or society you have to get through.
No,
But I
it's
mean, I get
dancing.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like to me, like, but it's dancing. Like, we black people, we express ourselves with dancing. So why do you think this particular style of dancing is only reserved for a certain group of people? Who told you that? That's always what I want to say. Who told you that? And it's there's no reason why you can't do it, because I
Mm-hmm.
realized a lot of these moves are similar, a whole lot of them. When I teach my belly dance classes, sometimes I get a few black women in, and I'm trying to teach them how to do a Maya, the upward figure 8, and you always get but I don't know how. I'm like, "Okay, seriously, girl, just think of Beyonce playing in the club. What you gonna do?" and, and this movement comes up. I'm like, "Yeah, that's it." Just because I'm
That's how
sitting
I learned belly dance. I had to just tighten up the moves. So it was like, well,
exactly
just close your legs a little bit and like confine that. And
control.
that's how I started.
Exactly. So I always just tell them, just imagine Beyonce is playing in the club. What are you going to do? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, that's it. I don't know. So it's there. We know it. It's just we don't do it because we think it's okay. At least in South Africa, they, black women think, oh, this is only for like white women. That's the way that they see it. That's the way that they think it, unfortunately. So like I said, the two aspects of being a black belly dancer in South Africa, no, I don't really perform in the entertainment world, especially in Johannesburg. Johannesburg is very vain in that
Mhm.
sense. You have to look a certain way. I'm not saying that the dancers who look that way cannot dance. They are amazing dancers. I'm not putting that on them. It's just the funny thing is it's always the owners and the managers who want that look. The crowd usually is very happy. Like
Mhm.
the few times that I dance and they couldn't find the one that looks good, I have to go in and perform. And the crowd is like, oh wow, that's really amazing. They're all happy and enjoying the show. But it's the people who do the booking are like all very strict about it and stuff. But it's okay. It's not the end of the world. There's like a whole lot of places where a person can dance.
I see that someone said they love your art. I agree with them.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's and I won't like derail us, but it is sad to say that that experience you have on the more entertainment side of it, outside of like maybe festivals and the fine arts community, is not unique to
Mhm.
South Africa. And
No.
I mean, it's to me like I'm disappointed. I would love to say like, wow, I'm so sad to hear that, and that's such a weird, odd phenomena. It's not. But hopefully that will change. But if not, like you said, turn your back to it and do something else. Like there are so many other spaces that we can dance. Hi, hey, brown girl belly dance. So we don't have to keep pouring our energy into fighting to be in spaces we're not welcome. So
Yeah.
I know that you, in addition to dancing on your own, you have a troupe. So I wanted to definitely ask you about that because I know that you do so many amazing things, but I haven't seen as much of your troupe. So part of that's just personal nosiness.
Um, that 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 actually boils down to being a black dancer again. So hi brown girl belly dance. Sorry, just got distracted by the hello. So I I've had my dance troupe. I started the studio in 2012, but it didn't actually turn out very well because I realized that when people Google for a belly dance studio to join, if they see a black teacher, they're out. Like they're not staying for
Mhm.
this. Including black people, by the way. It's not.
Look,
They
self
think
hate
that
is
it's
real.
no.
Self hate is real and alive. You are
Yeah.
getting an outpouring of love, by the way. Someone just said,
Oh,
I
thank
love your
you.
smile, your dancing, hearing you talk. I like you even more. Beautiful dancer.
Thank you. So I started the studio and then I decided to try and reach out to more people. I taught at my university. So my university had a dance club. So I went there and I started teaching the belly dancing. And so because of the university, I had a lot of black ladies join the dance class as well. I had a few white ones that also dropped out, but that's not related. And I find that so this for me this was a turning point. Like it made me understand what the hell is going on in the black with black people and belly dancing. So I used to get into the class, to teach the class, and you can feel the sense of they think I'm not competent. You could feel like they don't um and they don't think I qualify to teach them dancing. And it was like, okay, so if that's the sentiment, this is what I will do. I I got my brother because there was a belly dance, the World Belly Dance Day. So we had a festival in Pretoria, which is about it's like almost 45 minutes to an hour drive from Johannesburg.
Hmm.
So I got my brother in his bus. I said, ladies, just carry your lunch boxes. I will negotiate with my brother. We all pack into the bus and we all go and perform at World Belly Dance Day. And I did that with the intention of, I am really not that bad. So it was more of an egotistic trip, not really to say I needed to feel good about myself, but I needed them to see that I'm not a bad teacher. I'm not a bad dancer in that sense.
Yeah.
So they can have a little bit more confidence in me when I'm teaching dancing. So I hauled everyone into the bus. We went to the World Belly Dance Day. And I think 3/4 way into the day, I had all these girls come to me, like my students from the university. Oh my God, you're such an amazing dancer and teacher. I'm like, I've been trying to tell you that.
Gotta take a whole
I'm
field
not saying,
trip.
exactly. It's like, I'm not saying everyone's terrible, but now do you have some confidence in me or something?
Look, the struggle,
I
man. That was very generous of you, though. Like you have been very graceful,
know.
it seems, with how you've dealt with these hardships. I'll say that.
Thank you.
Very
I had to
graceful.
do that. So we performed a little bit more at other festivals and stuff that are in Johannesburg. And then I think at some point, the whole racism and pressure and everything just really got to me. And I decided I am just going to be a soloist for a while. So I danced
Mhm.
solo for a few years. And then I had a few people just come up to me and like, hey, what happened to your studio? And why aren't you teaching group classes anymore? So at that time, I only taught workshops and I pretty much danced by myself in the studio. And I had a few people asking me, oh, what happened to your studio? You need to start teaching. I'm like, okay. So I think it was in 2015 or 16, I decided, okay, I'm going to open it up again. And what I found is at the moment, my troupe is mostly made up of dancers who have danced elsewhere before and they've joined me. Um,
Okay.
or they've danced with me before from Verts and they're now from the university that is. And now they're dancing with me. I don't necessarily have, your public walk-ins that sort of
Hmm.
stick around and stay for long because of that same thing. I've had a few people inquire or a few people actually walk into the class. They have that one class, oh, it's a black girl, and they leave and they don't come back. And to be honest, that doesn't bother me much because I don't need that kind of negativity around me. So my studio is actually quite small, which is something that I love because we know each other. We're like very close to each other. They all came to I invite them all to like, if I have like outside dancing events, that's how much I love my students. Like we all go there with my troupe and everything. And we dance pretty much whatever we want because again, unfortunately, because my name or my face is in the front of the studio, they don't get, I feel bad because they don't get that sort of entertainment industry exposure because um, the front image or the person that's fronting the studio is not the ideal look in that sense. But I also feel that they don't really mind it that much. They just love being in the space of dancing with me, and we actually have fun together in the studio as well. So I have um, two
And are those
professional.
spaces really ideal? Like, if we think
They
about
are.
it, are they? Do we really
They
want to
are.
be in them?
I absolutely love them. I'm not going to lie. Like there's nothing. So as a treat, I do this every year. As a treat, I know it's not a lot, but my studio is very tiny. If they perform at a show or a festival or something, I always give them a free T-shirt just to say thank you.
Oh,
So that's what I do. It's like, yeah, if you perform, you get a free T-shirt. Like if you wanted custom this T-shirt, mine has the name on the back, and if they want their name on the back, they can get it. I designed the logo, so it's all on me. Like I was so happy when I did this. So they know, like every time you perform, you get a T-shirt. That's just how it goes. So and luckily, they're the most loveliest ladies that I dance with. You are right. It is the space that absolutely matters. Thank you, Brown Girl Dance. I love these ladies. We have so much fun together in the studio, or when we have to go into shows or festivals and stuff. Like I know they will always pull through. That's the one thing that's amazing about them.
you're so right, Brown Girl Belly Dance. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably feels a lot safer that you have that small like sacred space that doesn't have a revolving door. I mean, it's nice to have those big studios, but it's also nice to know you can go somewhere and it's like being home. Like you can go and you have your people and you can
Yeah.
dance and you don't have to worry about all those extra factors. Definitely. Hello from the Bronx.
Hello.
And if we miss your IG and we don't shout you out and I just read your comment, it's tiny. So please don't think that I'm intentionally not calling you out. Trying my best to catch the comments. So I wanted to ask you as well, just for fun, because you have been on so many adventures with your troupe as a solo artist. What would you say is your favorite production you've participated in? If you had to pick one, what would be your
No,
ultimate?
no, I can't pick
One. Okay, I'm kidding. It doesn't have to be one. We can do story
one.
time.
I will pick. I will pick two.
Okay, two is fair.
No, three. Three. Let's make
Three.
it three.
We're gonna
Yeah.
do the top three.
Okay. So, not in any order. So the one of the best productions I ever did was when Yasmin of Cairo and Mohammed Kazafi came to South Africa, and we had to learn their choreos and perform.
Ooh.
So this was we had to learn their choreos and then perform them in the show. So I think this was in Durban. That's like 5 or 6 hours from Johannesburg. So I had to drive down there, and from the Tuesday we started learning all these dances. Luckily, I've got like elephant brain. I can easily learn anyone else's dances. I can't remember my own. So we had to learn all these dances very quickly, and then had to perform for the show on the Saturday. So with Kazafi, he had the tabla, which was, I know, it blew my mind. That choreo changed the way I do drum solos forever. Like I will always like give credit to that man for changing the way that I dance. We also did a Nubian dance, and he made me the Nubian queen. So this was like an amazing achievement for me. I
It's
know
a
I've
fit.
had achievements before. Yeah, like I've had achievements before that are actually quite great. To me, that was amazing because he didn't pick in advance. He made us all do the choreo, and then he chose the best one and said you were the queen, and I had to be like the soloist with him. So this was like amazing for me. So I absolutely loved that show. It was a very painful experience because we danced 8 hours a day for like 4 or 5 days, and by the Friday, our bodies are completely broken, but we're feeling good. We're dancing. Yes, I know, Chadney. He will. He definitely will. So that was my. I've forgotten the name. Oh no, I've forgotten the name of the festival, but it was organized by Center of Maya Dance Troupe in Durban. So that was definitely a highlight of the festivals I attended. The second one, like I said, not in any order, is the Oriental dance festivals we used to have in Cape Town. So that's another 2 hour flight from Joburg. So those festivals to me, I think I attended all of them from the first one, that is in 2011, excluding 1 year until they stopped. But to me, all those festivals are always, it's so lively, it's so vibey. All the dancers just go down to Cape Town and like you have this amazing weekend. I absolutely love those festivals. And I think I only went with my troupe there once. But it was actually quite amazing to do those ones. And the last but not least, I would say would be the All Stars shows that used to be organized by Iona in Pretoria. So she got like the main, like so I think we were seven or six professional dancers to
Mm-hmm.
choreograph. Well, we all like took chances and choreographed something or two pieces for the show, and would go down to Pretoria and perform in the shows. And it was always such. I won't lie, like she has the most elegant way of throwing together productions. It was the most beautiful production. Everything is perfect. The theater, the ambiance, like the dancing and everything. And it was always such an amazing experience, like to be dancing with all these wonderful dancers and be doing the shows and everything. So I really miss those shows as well. So those are my, I would say those are my top three. Yes, I know I missed a few, but those are my top three that I say I still miss to this day, and I really, really appreciated the experience and the dancing. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing. I mean, that just makes me sad about, I just want us to be able to get back out and dance together again, like person to person.
Yeah,
Thank God for all of the technology, but it's been challenging. So
it
thank you for
is.
taking us down memory lane. So another tough question.
Hmm.
What's your favorite thing about being a belly dancer?
It sounds very vain.
It won't
I
be, I
don't
promise.
I don't have a deep like spiritual thing about it. I really love the costumes. Like I
What's vain
really,
about
really
that? Who doesn't love
I love my
the costume?
costume.
Half of us are here for costumes. They're sparkly and wonderful. And they hit
Exactly.
all the curves the right way.
Oh, I make my designer hit the curves the right way. So
You
he
have
knows
fabulous
now.
costumes.
Thank you. So I always tell my designer, we know the moral of the story, which is my ass. You need to capture that very well because I will use it. I have it. I will use it. So yes, uh, I absolutely love, love, love the costume part of belly dancing. That's the first thing. The second thing is also being vain. I love dolling myself up. To me, that's just, I don't know. I just really like it. And yes, I do love entertaining people. Like I love the fact that when I dance, people almost feel happy. To me, that makes me, I don't know, extremely happy that when I dance, oh my God, people get excited and everything. So I love that part as well. Um, Otherwise, I would say if there wasn't that, I won't lie. I'll be extremely honest. It doesn't matter how it sounds. If those three things are not part of belly dancing, I don't think I would do it.
I mean, they're valid reasons to stay. I personally don't think any of them are vain. They're valid
Yeah.
reasons to stay.
So that's the reason why I love being a belly dancer, that part.
Well, looking at, I guess you have such a history with the dance going into the new year because it is just January. What do you want for your dance journey in 2021? Do you have any big goals or just things you want to work on in your personal training?
Um, there is a few things that I would like to do. Obviously, I'm not making any big plans because right now, South Africa is going through the second wave and it's
Right.
way worse than the first one, like extremely way worse. So I don't quite see things going back to normal in that sense. Um, I think I had decided this a while back that at some point I'd have to branch out of just dancing in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd need to get out there, be more international than just dancing in South Africa. I didn't actually plan on, I don't know how to put it. I didn't plan on my name getting out there as much as it has now. This is just something that happened.
Well,
There
stop
was
being
no,
fabulous. Start there, and it won't happen. You did it to yourself.
thank you. So I just was dancing and I had made that decision like, yeah, at some point I'm going to just, you know, dance outside South Africa a little bit more than in South Africa because I think I could see that if I try to dance in the entertainment world,
I agree with
it's not going to
Teddy.
work. Oh, I would actually love to do that. So I realized that I will not be successful if I continue dancing in, or if I try to enter or break into the entertainment world, because I realized that it was very difficult. And then I said, okay, so what else can I do? Okay, just go international then. If you can't break into this, fine, we'll go international. And I haven't, like I said, I haven't actually done anything particular to sort of say, okay, now we're going international. This is the first thing I'll do, or the second thing. My name just literally flew away from me, and that's literally what happened. It just flew away, and now I've got all these international fans, which I love very much. Thank you. And to me, that's amazing. Also doing, I really don't know how this happened. I'm one of those, I'm very aloof these days, like especially with dancing. I've had so many personal things that are happening, but despite that, all these amazing belly dance things have been happening as well. My name got out there, and to me, that's amazing. So this year, I really just, again, I feel like it doesn't sound as adventurous. I really just want to, if it is possible, have a cute, small, intimate production with the Thelma Roses. If I can do that this year, I'll be very happy. The other thing that I would like to do also is to finally get to that point where I'm saying, I am going international. I'm active about it now.
I think you've already done that one. You can check it off. I think it's officially over. I think you can check that one. I'm playing, but yes, I think that you're there with that.
Thank you. Thank you. But I feel like I need to now actually be active about it, and not just let it fly away from me and it's just happening. And I'm like, okay, now I need to actively be part of the international dance community, and not just happen to be there in a sense. So that's something that I wanted to do as well. It's just with the way things are going with this COVID, it is I don't know. I'd say it's not really wise to make such big plans because we don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Right? No idea what's happening. So yeah, I don't really have a lot. I would love to do a lot more online classes and workshops. I really would love to do that, but I realize that the time zones,
Look, next time, if we do something, we can flip it. Asmara will get up at the crack of dawn so that you can sit in the evening and relax.
That's okay, but
it's challenging.
It is extremely challenging because I'm doing the Best in World workshop on Saturday, which is tomorrow, on my side. And the funny thing is, for me, I don't know, they organized it so well that for me it's at 2:00 in the afternoon. I'm like, oh wow, how did that work?
That is magical.
Yeah, but it's 4 a.m. in LA. I'm like, oh, okay, so people are going to be sleeping.
No, if they want to take your workshop, they're going to be up. I got up for 5 o'clock, at 5 o'clock in the morning for somebody's workshop a few months ago. We'll get up if we want to get up.
Yeah, I thought that, okay, let's just hope that people will get up for it anyways. But it's just, like I said, I would love to do a little bit more online workshops and everything, but it's the time zones that end up being a problem. I also
Slumber party with Thelma Rose. Branded and run.
Coffee party with Thelma Rose. And Thelma will be drinking water because Thelma does not drink coffee. I always tell people that I'm a very cheap date. Right now, I'm drinking hot water.
I do that too.
And then when it's hot, I need just water. So that's another thing that I would like to do, just to do a little bit more online workshops and or I'd rather prefer doing a series like I did in August, where it's just 4 classes, so you don't feel like you have to commit over time, and you don't feel like it's just once off and then it's finished. So I would love to do something like that. But we'll see. Oh yeah, midnight dance
It
party with
looks like
Thelma Rose.
you have a demand for something now. It's in the universe.
Exactly. But otherwise, I don't know. I think I'm still happy with the way that my dancing is going right now. I've been blessed in 2020 in the sense that my studio, Thelma Roses, we kept going through the lockdown. We kept going online. Like there was no one who dropped off. There was no stopping anything. And I also teach for another studio. It's called 5678 Dance Studio, but they do all sorts of styles, and I'm their resident belly dance teacher. And I would really love to grow that class as well. But it also feels like it's a revolving door in the sense that people just don't stick, especially beginner classes. They're
Yeah.
there for a while and they float off somewhere else. But I love that studio. It's the teacher's amazing, the space is amazing, and I would love to continue being part of that studio and seeing how my contribution as a belly dancer can enhance the studio as well. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to.
Well, those are all exciting goals. I definitely see that coming to fruition. So good luck with your 2021 adventures.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our community?
Yes, there is. So, by some random chance yesterday, I know this is sort of targeted audience, but it's okay. I saw the first video of Ahava dancing hip line drum solo. I think she basically was the first black dancer that I ever saw online, which is I don't know, it's not right.
She's inspiring.
She is, and I saw her, and I've got this habit, and I would like to apologize in advance to all the black professional dancers. If I find you, I will stalk you. Like I'm not gonna send you weird DMs and things, but I will follow you everywhere. Like I've always had this habit that when I find that one black or brown dancer, I just stay on you, like yeah, like almost like we're BFFs or something, and I'm the only person who knows about this relationship. So
You're not the only one who does that.
okay, that's very comforting. So I've always done that. So when I found her, I was so impressed. I won't lie, I was extremely impressed. And I think I immediately had to look for her on Facebook. I friended her and I sent her a message like, oh my God, you're so amazing. And I was like that weird stalker girl waiting, like, why isn't she replying?
I also did that to her, so don't feel bad. I did the same thing. I was like, you want to be friends?
I know.
I said, friends.
Why aren't you replying? Like, I like you. Say something. But it was very comforting for me to see her performing. Sorry, the sun is rising and the light behind me is getting brighter than the one in front of me. So
that's okay. We
very
can still
nice.
see you.
Okay. So Chutney, you do the same thing. Okay. I did that with Chutney as well. But Chutney, I still want your hair. I want your hair more than anything. I love your hair. I will always say this. Okay, so I'm getting distracted. So the one thing that I appreciate about the year 2020 is we all went into lockdown. We're all forced to sit down in front of our computers and our cell phones and everything. And the one thing that popped out for me is that there is a very large community of black dancers I didn't know about. Because we're busy we're busy in our cars, running around studios, and I didn't know about all these dancers. And I'm literally like,
we
I was
found
shocked.
each other.
I know, I was completely shocked that there's people like this in the world. So to me, that was a very nice experience. Like, oh, it happened. Like, there's so many beautiful black dancers out there. Because I know it's a bit egotistic in the sense to think, oh, but I'm the only one, you know, and you feel like isolated, and especially down here. I know there is black dancers in Mozambique, which is just next door, and I think in Namibia. In 2019, I met a black dancer from Angola. Didn't know that she existed, but there she was. And I literally stood there in the workshop and they're like, oh, she's from Angola. And my jaw's on the floor. I'm like, oh, how did I not know you? You know, to me, I always feel like it's like I was robbed by the universe by not knowing some of these dancers. So I think the past few years have been very interesting to me to see that there's so many black dancers who are so amazing, like literally extremely amazing. And it really bothers me that um, there's this notion or this thing that they don't get invited to festivals or to be festival headliners and everything. And I know, like, in my opinion, I feel you don't have to go where you're not wanted. If we really, I want to learn from them. Like the last online workshops that you guys did, I only meant to do one, and then I saw the rest, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do all of them. So I ended up just doing all of them because they're so amazing. So I actually love learning from the black dancers because they've got so much knowledge that I honestly didn't think was there. Like I really did not think it was there. So I feel we really need, if we feel like we're not welcome in a certain space, there is absolutely nothing wrong with creating your own. That's how I feel. There is absolutely nothing wrong with creating our own space where I would love to join in. I would love to always be there. And I'm not discriminating or hating. I still participate in other festivals and things. But at the same time, I can feel that there's a need to support black dancers. So we have to fulfill that need as well. To me, that's something that has to be done. So if there's any festivals out there that are organized by black dancers, just know if it is possible, if the universe is willing, if everything falls into place, I will be there. Like I don't have to be a headliner. I will come in and join in the back of the class and make the most of the noise and that type of person. Like I will come because I learned, oh, I'm so bad with names. I'm very sorry. I'm really bad with names. Like the last one, you had a Saidi workshop.
Oh, Amaladon?
Yes. And to me, that was just eye-opening. Like, I know I say I do
It was
Egyptian style
amazing.
dancing. I know I'm not really big into Saidi, but that was like, okay, I need to take this up again. I did it before and I stopped. So I need to take that up again and like, okay, I am definitely doing this again. So it's, I find them very inspiring. So that was amazing.
I think that that's a great thing to end with. Like we have to support each other. Whether we're headlining, we're performing alongside each other, we're in the back of each other's classes. Like that's a big reason that Asmara Bellydance Initiative came together. Is it's not that we want to exclude people from a space or we don't feel welcome in other spaces, but it's perfectly okay and incredibly necessary to have our own space. And I
Yeah.
know that Brown Girl Belly Dance is doing that. There's a lot of people out there coming together and forming these organizations, these groups, these businesses. And I'm so excited about it. And I hope that
Yeah.
like with that happening and with like your good energy that you bring into the world and other dancers doing this, like we can just continue this momentum and look back in a year and it's just at a whole nother level. Like we know each other better. We're more connected. We're all stalking each other. So I think, yeah, I definitely agree with you. And I think that the momentum will go. Like I really feel encouraged that this is going to keep going. I know I want to make sure that we shout out your class coming up. Like tell us about that and then let us know if people want to connect with you, the best way to stalk you so that we can all stay in touch.
Okay. So the class is coming up. I'm doing a drum solo because I figure give people what they love sometimes. You know, like there's many of there'll be plenty other opportunities for me to teach other things, but drum solos are also my first love. It's not like I don't like them and I just do. No, I absolutely love doing them. So I'm doing a drum solo class, which will be at 4 a.m. LA time. Everyone else can translate what that means. To me, it means 2 p.m. in South Africa. Okay, so
I'll throw in, just because I know there's East Coast people, that's 7 a.m. East Coast, which is not that early, so get up.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay, so you can book and use the name Thelma and get 50% off. So
oh wow.
wait, yeah. So I think the whole festival is $100, but if you use the name Thelma, you get 50% off. And that 50% off that you get, I actually get an incentive when you book with my name. That's how it works. So if you would like to book for that, I'm doing a whole 1 hour workshop. I hope I can squeeze everything in 1 hour. It's, for me, yes, I'm doing a sort of choreo combo, but it's more of, while we're doing that, you're learning how I think and how I process movements and music and how I actually think when I dance or when I want to put a dance together. So that's sort of getting a little insight into how Thelma dances. So this will be, again, at 2 o'clock South African time on Saturday, I've forgotten the date. Okay, but I will.
Is that the
I will
9th,
check.
I think?
I think it's the.
I think it's
What
the
is the
9th?
date today?
Because
Yes,
today's
it's the
the
9th.
12th. Yes.
Yeah, it's the 9th. The 9th at 2 o'clock South African time. And then if you would like to stalk me, I'm going to try and post a little bit more often. I was quiet over the festive season. So on my Instagram is actually the most active. So that's Thelma Rose Belly Dancer. Just know I will respond to every message and every comment, not as swiftly, but I make sure that I respond to every single one of them. It doesn't matter what you need to ask me any time of the day. I'm a bit slower on Facebook. If you message me on my page, which is Thelma Rose, I think it's Thelma Rose Belly Dancer as well, professional belly dancer. I'm a bit slower there, but I'm faster on Instagram and I'm faster on my own personal Facebook page, where you find me is just Thelma Rose. I think my profile picture is like the famous yellow costume, if you know what I mean.
I know. I stalk you, so I'm not even going to act like I don't know. It's the yellow costume, y'all. It's gorgeous. And I will put this information when I repost the interview on YouTube, so don't worry about scrambling to write it down, guys.
So if you'd like to I post, so with my Instagram, or basically with my social media pages, I only post dance related matters. So you will not find personal information about me. I don't post personal stuff. But it doesn't mean that it's like this big secret, like I'm hoarding. No, if you want to know, ask me personally and I'll tell you. But it's not something that I want to broadcast actively to the world. So you'll see mostly basically me dancing in my green studio or something. So like I said, I respond to almost every comment and every message as quickly as possible. And I make sure that I respond to all of them. So if you'd like to contact me or ask me anything, I've had people asking me, oh, how do you do belly flatters? And I'm like, okay, I try to break it down via text. But so I do try. I do try. So feel free to stalk me. I'm happy to have stalkers because I do the same thing to other people. It's only natural.
We will all collectively stalk. Well, thank you so much again for getting up this early in the morning for us. We feel so special, and I'm so happy that we have people come on and show you love. I knew that would happen no matter how late it was here and early it was in South Africa. But I'm going to let you go start your day, and thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We will talk to you next Thursday. Bye, Thelma.
Thank you. Bye. And thank you for the love, everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone.